Hi everybody, welcome back to Beginner's Mind, Art Mind. I'm Linda and I'm out here completely cracking up because I have a vicious ruby-throated hummingbird attacking me. Every time I try to start this video, this bird is dive bombing me. I think what it is two males are fighting. They're probably nesting in the area and they're fighting and they're somehow getting tangled up. And every time I start to try to film this intro for this video, they're like coming in and dive bombing. So I went into the screen room and hopefully they will not find their way in here. This is crazy. All right. Welcome back to Beginner's Mind, Art Mind. I'm Linda, and let me tell you a little bit about what's in this video. It is packed. I had all these little bits and pieces of videos because when I do swatching, I always like to do a painting for you guys with whatever material it is that I'm swatching out if I do an unboxing or something. So what's happened lately is that the swatchings have been so long, I haven't had time to add on the painting part. I did a lot of paintings over the last month, and I haven't posted them in a video yet. So today I have, oh my gosh, so many different supplies that I'm going to show you that I do a painting with. I tried out the Liquitex acrylic gouache. And I did some paintings with that. And actually, most of the paintings, I went on a dandelion, daffodil, lilac rampage. So I did all these dandelion, daffodil, lilac paintings. But and it was fun. I did a couple of plein air sessions. I also do a couple of Turner acrylic paintings. Not Turner acrylic, I'm sorry. Turner acrylic gouache paintings. Let's see. Oh, the big fat Liquitex acrylic markers. I did a couple of really loose, expressive paintings of lilacs and I think daffodils with those. So much fun. On a couple of days after I started the cleanse, when I just wasn't feeling well enough to, you know, really get my paints out and clean brushes and all that, I got out those markers. Oh my gosh, what fun. I can't wait for you to see that. That may be about it. Oh, my husband's very first art supply unboxing. I bought him an art supply gift and he unboxes it in his very first unboxing. Unfortunately, it was shot for a reel and a YouTube short, so the orientation is wrong, but I threw it in anyways because it's so precious. He was so surprised with what he got. And then it shows him doing a little painting, a little clip of him doing a painting with that. So it's a fun video. It's different from my other videos. Oh my God, here comes the hummingbird again. It's crazy. Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to reshoot this thing again because I can't stop laughing. So anyways, you get a clip of that, and then I'll tell you why there's a skunk in the woodpile and what that means at the end of the video. So let's dive in before this hummingbird comes in and attacks me again. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, I hope you really enjoy the video. So a couple of weeks ago, I went out to paint dandelions, and I wasn't fully prepared. I didn't set up my umbrella, and I forgot to bring my sun clips out for my Alla Prima Pochade. So the sun was really intense on my sketchbook and on my paints, and it's really hard to paint that way. But I really had it in my heart that I wanted to paint some dandelions, so I just kept going with it and got a couple of paintings done. It was a little frustrating because of the direct light, but it was such a gorgeous day. It was the first really warm day that we had, and I got a wicked sunburn, so I had to lather myself with aloe when I came in. Playing with my Turner acrylic gouache today, and I can't stop painting daffodils. Fun, fun, fun. Really liking this acrylic gouache. The way I've figured out how to use it, it's working better with my Stay Wet palette as long as I keep the piles spread out a little bit. The little blobs tend to dry out faster, and I do keep spraying it. When you're working on stuff all morning in your studio and then it's time for lunch and you can't rouse your studio assistant to leave the studio with you to go take a lunch break. Toshi, Toshi, wanna go have lunch? You hungry? You hungry, Toshi? Want a treat? We gotta go have lunch. What's an artist to do? Can't get the assistant out of the studio. So I just started playing around with this Liquitex acrylic gouache a few minutes ago, and at first I really disliked it a lot, and then I just realized that it's just so different from anything I'm used to that it's going to take me a little bit to get used to it. It just handles, it's not like there's anything wrong with it. It's just very liquidy, and I'm used to dealing with more pasty gouaches like M. Graham and Turner acrylic gouache, you know, that type of thing that has it has a more pasty feeling, and this is very liquidy gouache. So, and some of the colors aren't the mixing colors, the primary colors that they give aren't the pigments that I'm used to mixing with. So there's a bit of a learning curve. It's interesting though. I'm going to keep going with this and see what happens. But I went from extremely frustrated in the beginning. I don't know how the light is on this. It's completely dark outside. But I'm not going to give up yet. It's just different. I think if I got used to it, I could actually really like it. So I will keep going and keep you posted. And if you hear heavy breathing, it's not me. Posy keeps walking in and out of the studio, panting like crazy. Okay, so that's my first test painting with the Liquitex acrylic gouache, the primary set of colors. And it was interesting. It was very different from what I'm used to working with, like I said before. And also painting at night, hello, in the studio is hard because it's artificial lighting. Yeah, so that's it. Not sure what I think. I'll have to photograph it tomorrow in better light and take a look at it tomorrow. I struggled with how liquid the paint was. That's not something I'm used to. You know, I think this would be really good for tight painting. For someone who paints more tightly with small brushes, I think this would be perfect for that. But for somebody who wants like juicy brush strokes, I don't know. I guess I would have to play with it more. But I'm going to leave it there and clean up my mess. And it's 10 to 9, so I'll probably go get ready for bed. But that is my test of the Liquitex acrylic gouache primary set. Okay, so I showed this to you guys last night, and I may have kind of cheated because I broke out some of my Turner. My Turner gouache, acrylic gouache, is thicker and more opaque than I'm finding the Liquitex acrylic gouache. And so I wasn't happy with the way my dandelions had come out, and I needed something more opaque and a little thicker to cover them up. So I turned to the Turner acrylic gouache to finish the job. And I think because I had in mind for this to do a very loose painting, it might not have been the best painting for me to try such a fluid acrylic gouache on. I think I'll give this another chance, but on maybe a different type of painting, because I'm just not used to it being so fluid and a little transparent, a little more transparent than what I'm used to working with. But I certainly can see a place for it. There are certainly times when I'm wishing that I had some transparency in my gouache. So I will give it another shot. I'll do another painting with it and see how it turns out. But in this painting, what ended up working best for me was a combination of both the Liquitex acrylic gouache and the Turner acrylic gouache. And I ended up being pretty happy with the results. Yeah, there it is. So if you haven't tried it, give the Liquitex acrylic gouache a try. It was fun experimenting with it. Painting some more daffodils and making a giant mess in the studio today. My oh my. Does everybody make this much of a mess when they paint? I suppose it doesn't really matter if you're enjoying yourself, right? Except when it comes the time that you have to clean it up. Here's a few more paintings that I did with the Turner acrylic gouache that I don't know if I showed you guys yet or not. I've been playing around with these Liquitex paint markers this afternoon with the giant nib, and these are so much fun. It just like feels, this is gessoed paper, and so the paint just sort of floats on top. It's not sinking in, so you can sort of push it around. And these are so much fun and facilitating a lack of control and not getting fussy. I mean, it's just a blast to work with these giant nibs. So much fun. Yeah, and you can blend them, and then I just take a sheet of paper and, clean off the nibs afterwards. Really fun lack of control. Super loose. Really enjoying playing with these. It's a really nice way to let go when you just want to have some fun. If you don't have the energy to work on a more serious painting, or if you only have a few minutes and you don't want to get involved and get your paints all out and you fill your palette and everything, just grab one of these. I don't know if I can. I mean, look at the size of that nib. That is so much fun. Really fun to play with these. Wow. So much fun. And you can just layer them and layer them. Yep, these are a thumbs up. Thumbs up for play for sure. I don't know if I would try to do any kind of serious painting with them in the style that I do. I could see where these would be useful for more illustrative work or so graphic work, but gosh, a lot of fun to play with, you guys. Give them a try. I think you'll have some fun. Gestural play like this with your art supplies is so much fun and so relaxing. It's so nice just to play and not try to come up with some sort of beautiful painting, and just to be really loose and gestural with your marks. It's really fun. I ended up adding in some Posca markers for the smaller gestural lines. Yep, it's a really great stress reliever. If I didn't allow myself play dates in the studio where I could come up and just sort of make a joyful mess on the page, I would get into my studio a lot less than I do. It's so important to remember that art is supposed to be fun. Probably the most important piece of advice I could give people, especially people with chronic illness, is to continue to play and to have fun with your art. Doesn't mean you can't ever do a serious painting. It just means that once in a while you need to take a vacation and have some fun and let loose and just go crazy on the page. So much fun with these Liquitex paint markers. It's almost impossible not to stay loose. These are so much fun. And after you use them for a while, they do leak into the caps, but gosh, they're so much fun, I really don't even care. They can be very messy, but wow. I am having a blast with these, you guys. So I'm going back to golden acrylics after a long time of having not used them. I mean, it's been probably almost 6 months anyways since I've used them. And I'm going back to them because I'm taking Ben Hamburger's class on fearless landscapes and limiting value shapes. So it's breaking the picture down that you want to paint into value shapes and then doing a grayscale painting of them. And then the next painting is going to be keeping the limited value shapes, but adding color. And this one I'm imagining is going to be much trickier to keep your values straight with adding the color than it was to keep your values straight while just using the grayscale. Plus, not being used to the open acrylics anymore because I've been using gouache exclusively for the last 6 months, so it should be interesting. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so this is where I ended up with it after adding color. And I found the golden open acrylics trickier to work with than I remembered because of their translucency. They were much more liquid. You know, I've been working with gouache for so long. They were much more liquid and fluid, I guess I should say, and transparent than I remembered. And I found that quite frustrating at moments during the painting. But there's that exercise. On to the next one. This was another plein air session that I went on. My husband had a doctor's appointment, and while he was in with the doctor, I went out and painted the view from the parking lot. It's one of the beautiful things of living in Vermont is there's just breathtaking views everywhere. So there's this farmhouse that's across the farm fields from the doctor's office, and I've always wanted to paint it. Every time we've gone there, I've thought it would be such a beautiful thing to paint. So at the last minute, I grabbed my Pashad box, and I'm so glad I did because I put the hatch up on the car to shade my box and my sketchbook, and it shaded me too until the very end. But yeah, it was a gorgeous day. I just really enjoyed it. There was a tractor that was haying the distant farm field, and I really enjoyed it. It was a very peaceful time that I really needed to get out and do some painting. I can't recommend these Alla Prima Pashad boxes enough. It really is like having an outdoor studio. And there's the finished painting. I got to thank my hubby for doing the videoing when he got out of his doctor's appointment. Okay, this is my sweetie's first ever unboxing of art supplies. Woohoo! This is something I ordered for him that I think he might enjoy and to keep him out of my art supplies. He has watercolors. He has actually really nice watercolors, and I gave him some acrylics the other day. And that is what you get today.
This is for me?
That is for you, baby.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a different kind of gouache. I've never used it. Yeah, I've never used it before. It stays liquid all the time. And a lot of people are posting on the internet that they really like it.
Ooh, thank you. My gosh.
How do they pop out? Yeah, see? And you can peel the covers off, and supposedly it stays wet. I mean, I think you have to keep the cover on it.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can paint with it like wet gouache, right fresh out of the tube, and it won't dry out. I think.
Amazing.
I mean, I have never used this kind, but people are posting about it online, and they say they like it, so...
Thank you, dear.
So
I'm going to have a ball with that.
Here, let me see the cover. It's Hemi. Yep, Hemi Gouache.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bye.
You gonna try it out tonight?
I don't know. I might.
I think you're gonna really like it.
This is gonna be
think
great.
this is what you've been looking for between acrylics and watercolor and gouache.
Wow.
I think you're really gonna have fun with this.
Thanks. Boy, I need a palette knife, don't I?
You need a palette knife?
Can I do that with my brush?
You're gonna make a mess. Put some on the paper, see what it looks like. It's too thick.
Like paint. You can paint with it.
Is it a nice texture?
Wow. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll have fun with this thing.
Hubby's playing with his new Hemi Gouache that I got him, painting the bouquet that he bought me today. He bought me this bouquet in celebration of the interview being published that for the 100 Days of Encouragement that Debbie Miller did with me. So we both sat down. I've never used Hemi Gouache. I just bought it for him because I thought it would be a good medium for him to use. And I decided to sit down and try it out too. It's awful shiny. It's hard to see in this light. Definitely has Dawn's style to that, though, you can tell.
Yeah, but you in 5 minutes can come up with a painting.
How long have I been doing it for? Right? Cool.
That's what I always tell people about carpentry when they say, you know,
Yeah. He thinks I can do a painting fast, but let me try to do some carpentry. Yeah, I think you'd be a bit faster. Okay, we're having fun. So I had purchased a bunch of these pencil cases. I had seen these on Sandy Hester's Bits of an Artist's Life YouTube channel, and I really loved them. I loved that they were clear, and they're like the perfect size for pencils. They're a tiny bit tight for Tombos, but you know, they do fit. They do fit in there. So I loved them. I loaded all my stuff into them. I loved them. They fit in my Art Nest bag really great. But I was sitting there with them over the last couple of days, and I started to not feel good because they had a really bad smell to them. And to me, it smells like skunk, really strong skunk smell. My husband said it smells like pot, like a kind of skunk kind of pot or something, he said. So, yeah, so I'm washing them. And trying, I got sudsy water in here. Well, it was sudsy. They've been in here for about an hour because I soaked that one only for about 20 minutes and it still smells a little bit. So I've been soaking these for about an hour and I'm going to take them outside onto the deck and try to dry them in the sun. And I'm really hoping the smell goes away, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to return them because it really makes me not feel well. It's such a strong smell. So let's see what happens. it was weird because whatever the smell was that was on them, it was so strong that when I handled them, the smell stayed on my hands. I don't know if it was just this batch that I ordered that maybe it was treated with something or something got onto it. My husband says maybe it was shipped in a shipment full of marijuana bricks. I don't know what it is, but it smells terrible. So, yeah, let's see what happens when I take them outside and put them in the sun for a while. Hopefully it'll go, because I just think they're such cute cases. Sandy's been keeping her colored pencils and, oh, see, I can still smell them. I don't know. They still smell. So we have a screen room out on our deck, and I took them and I set them upside down on the deck so that they can kind of drain down and get air up through the deck boards, through the cracks in the boards, and air out and get sun. Oh, there's the hummingbird. Had a little hummingbird friend. Ruby-throated hummingbird. Isn't he beautiful? Anyways, it's breezy out, so I thought if I put them in the screen room and zipped it up, hopefully they wouldn't blow all over the deck. Hopefully they'll stay in there even if they do blow around a little bit. Gosh, I just really hope that they air out, because they're really nice. It'd be really sad not to have them. I can't believe how green and lush everything's getting all of a sudden. It's like spring just sprung overnight. That early spring green is so beautiful. That's where our pond is, way down over there in the woods. That path over here goes down to the pond. That's the logging trail from when we had the woods logged. Okay, I gotta get back to work editing this video for you guys because I need to publish it tomorrow. And I have a lot of editing left to do. So, hi guys. See you soon on the YouTubes. I think the washing these and rinsing them and then airing them out in the sun, I keep flipping them over. I think it's helping with the smell. They definitely don't smell as strong as they did before. So I think if I leave them out here for a while, maybe the smell will go away for sure, because I really like them. I want them to work. Hello, here we go. I hope you do enjoy the show.